Larry seems to be quick on the jump here with the first question. So Larry, we'll let you go first. Go ahead, Larry.
Okay, thanks, Eric. Terrence from Bruiser was on here with us. He talked about that Coach Calipari had mentioned you in the same conversations with Anthony Davis and John Wall. So one, just wondering, what do you know about those two players? And what does it mean to you to even have your name mentioned in a sentence with those two players?
Just knowing that, guys like Anthony Davis and John Wall obviously had great years here, and going on to the NBA and being great players that they are. Being in that conversation is, I'm blessed, I guess. That's really all I can say. But it doesn't really stop me. I always had this confidence where I think I could be a good basketball player and a great one. And for me, just hearing that kind of just gives me even more confidence to keep working on my game and playing as hard as I can. So, that's really it.
Now, he also said, Bruiser did, that John still gets on you a lot, that he doesn't cut you much slack. Is that fairly accurate too?
Oh, man, definitely. Every day, day in and day out, every practice, I feel like every day Coach has something to say to me, and I kind of just take it in and work as hard as I can to, understand what he's saying, because obviously Coach Cal is a great coach, one of the best basketball coaches or college basketball coaches in the world. And, with him being on me every day, I think I just take it as, him wanting me to be great and as good as possible. So I just work as hard as I can every day.
All right, next up, we'll go with John Wong. Go ahead, John.
Hey, Terrence. We hear Coach Cal say all the time that Kentucky is not for everyone. Now, when he was recruiting you, when you heard that, what goes through your mind? What goes through the mind of a five-star recruit when they hear something like that?
It's kind of a challenge. I took it as a challenge, especially when I got here. The first thing I knew is, the school is not for everybody. There's obviously things that, you're going to have to work 10 times harder than the next person or stuff like that. We have all types of five stars and great basketball players here. We have some transfers and stuff like that. So every day is a battle. Every other school, you have schools where five-star recruits are kind of, paved the way to their starting lineup spots and stuff like that. But here, you got to work for your spot. So when he says that this school's not for everybody, that means you got to be mentally ready to work every day.
So if you're out there trying to convince somebody who's thinking about Kentucky of coming here, what's the best piece of advice that you would give them?
You just got to be mentally prepared every day. There's no days off here. You're working here every day to be a professional basketball player. So, Coach Cal is not going to let you, take days off or take plays off or whatever the case may be. You have to work every single day that you're here. And, for the next recruit, if you want to be great, you're going to have to go through this type of things. It's a sacrifice that you got to take when you're here. You can't go out and do all the things that you think you can. For me and the team that's here, we're in the gym 25/8, I feel like. So, we're here working every day.
All right, next up, we'll go with John Hale with Courier-Journal. Go ahead, John.
Terrence, obviously for a guy like you who has so many options, when the season was uncertainty with the pandemic, what's it going to look like? Are we going to have it at all? What made you decide you still wanted to come to college and do this as opposed to just, cutting your losses and preparing for the draft or going to the G League or something like that? Why did you decide to still stick this through with all the uncertainty?
I feel like Kentucky as a school, is obviously going to get you prepared for that type of stuff. Kind of with the uncertainty of the season, it kind of really wasn't on my mind. Being here with the guys that's here, even when we didn't even know we had a season, we still was in the gym every day and working every day. And I feel like the college aspect gets everybody ready for the next level. So one of the main things for me is I really just want to stick it out. And Coach Cal obviously was going to get me ready. I kind of think that I needed Coach Cal, just so I can stay mentally ready and develop my mind and my maturity here. So one of the main things for me, the G League and stuff like that, it wasn't really on my mind, especially when I got here. I just knew that it would be a great situation for me.
As other guys consider that as an opportunity, what benefits do you think in general are there to coming to college versus going and just getting paid right away?
Like I said, for me, it's the mental part. I just want to be as mature as possible for the next level. And I think being here was one of the main things that I knew could help me in that situation. Like I said, Coach Cal said this school's not for everybody, and that's really a fact. And, for me, I just want to work as hard as I can mentally and physically so I can, play my best this year. And if next year I have to go to the draft, whatever the case may be, then that'll be it.
All right, next up, we'll go with Jack Pilgrim, Kentucky Sports Radio.
In the months leading up to the season, you flew out to California and worked out with Devin and BJ. How did that come about? What were those conversations like about, you flying across the country to go work out with your future teammates? How long were you out there? Who'd you stay with? And how do you think that helped you, prepare before heading out to Lexington?
I think the conversation was kind of brought up when my season at Brewster was finished. Devin and BJ kind of leaned me into this. Well, they just told me that I can come out there and stay with them and work out with them. So for me, those are my future teammates, and I thought there would be no problem with it. Me personally, I work hard as ever, in Boston, but in LA we worked even harder. I feel like we worked out about 4 to 5 times a day. So I knew the situation would be great. I stayed with BJ for the time being. I stayed there for about a month and a half probably. And, day in and day out, we were just getting working. And I knew that if I can go out there and work out with my teammates, we could build chemistry early. And our main goal right now is to win the championship. So that was obviously a great situation for me.
Devin's dad said that I think Isaiah Jackson reached out and said that he was interested in coming out. I think Cameron Fletcher kind of flirted with the idea a little bit. How close was it to kind of being like a full team out in California and all you guys working out before heading to Lexington?
Obviously there's a situation with COVID and COVID-19 and stuff like that. So, the situation that was there, Cam and Isaiah would have definitely came out if it was possible for them. But then there were situations that limited that. But, I feel like if we had the chance, we all would have been out there and working as hard as we can together because, like I said, we all already had a group chat and everything where we was all talking amongst each other and ready for the season. So we was already excited. So I wish that they was there, but even though we all still here and we're working out, so it don't really matter.
All right, we'll go with Maggie Davis, WLEX, and then Kyle Tucker. I'll come to you.
Hi, Terrence. A few weeks ago, you told us about your pregame ritual and that it included apple juice, Swedish fish, gummy bears, a lot of sugar, telling us that, Sugar Rush was the way to go. And then we talked to Bruiser Flint a couple of days ago, and he said, heck no, he's going to have to change that, or he's going to die in these games. What do you think about that? Who's going to win that battle? Are you going to keep up with the Sugar Rush, or is he going to make you change your ways?
I feel like Coach Flynn's been on me about that type of stuff. And also Rob, our trainer and stuff like that, and our nutritionist, Monica, she's been on me about eating a lot more and eating healthily. So I think for me, the Sugar Rush is going to have to go. But, as you can see, I've been drinking a lot of water. I've been staying away from the sweets and stuff like that, just because the season's coming around and I know that's not going to last for too long. I've been trying to stay as healthy as possible.
That seems like kind of a big transition, obviously, from what you were able to do in high school versus now that you have a trainer and a nutritionist and all that kind of comes along with playing in college. Something else that comes with that, of course, is what you're doing right now, talking to the media all the time, just getting on these Zoom calls and chatting with reporters, a couple times a week or a month or however much it is. Has that been a weird adjustment for you? Obviously you seem pretty comfortable right now, but do you enjoy doing this?
Honestly, it's fun. Growing up, you always thought of these situations. I always grew up watching basketball and watching guys that's on the court, having to do this type of thing. So me being in this position, it's just fun. I'm just taking full advantage of it and having as much fun as possible, really. And, the transition is kind of weird because I haven't done it before, but I'm just having as much fun as I can because this is a lifetime dream, really, for me. So.
All right, next up, we'll go with Kyle Tucker at The Athletic.
Yeah, Terrence, I've heard a lot of good things about BJ Boston. I want to know your take on his game and also just sort of in your mind's eye, the two of you on either wing in a game, what kind of damage can you guys do as kind of a duo?
Honestly, I think BJ is a great basketball player. I always thought so. And one of the main things for me coming to Kentucky was BJ getting here too. Ever since we was at camps like MBPA and Elite 100, we always talked about teaming up at schools. And, here being at Kentucky, I feel like we're going to just – time will tell. Like I said, we're going to do some damage, I feel like. But, we don't really want to talk too much. I think the main thing for us is playing as a team. Even though we're on the wings and stuff like that, we have other great basketball players like Olivier Sarr and Isaiah Jackson and Devin Askew and, the list goes on. So I feel like me and BJ being on the wings is complimenting everybody else on the team. So,
Kyle, you good? Do you have follow-up or are you good?
I'm good.
All right, we'll move on to Barclay Truax with the Kentucky Colonel.
Hey, so how's practice been this week, and how are things clicking early on?
Practices have been fun. We started our 2-a-days this weekend, and our first official practice was last Friday. It's been fun. We've been scrimmaging and working on really just creating great habits. We're all kind of young. We're all freshmen, and a lot of us are just new to to college. So we're trying to build as much habits as we can. That's what Kyle's really preaching on right now for us. So we're just trying to work as hard as we can in practice. For us, we're just trying to stay level-headed right now and just learn every single day because the season is coming and approaching. So practice has been fun, though. We make it fun every single day. So.
All right, we're going to go with Jake Klein next, and then I'll circle back around with some second questions. Go ahead, Jake.
Terrence, you started your high school career at Rivers, and then you obviously moved on to Brewster. What would you say you took away from that prep school experience, and would you change anything if you got to do your high school career over again?
I think my high school transition was excellent for me. I've been prepared for everything that's been thrown at me, I feel like. And, being at prep school and boarding school, there's only a lot of things like there's limited things that you can do. And the boarding school aspect, there's school and basketball. So, and then being here, especially with COVID going on, that's the same thing. So I feel like I've just been mentally and physically prepared for this type of stuff or for the college level. And, being at Brewster is probably one of the best situations for me because, you're always surrounded around great players. Like me, I was surrounded my sophomore year around Jalen LeCue and was in the NBA. Alonzo Gaffney, who's a potential NBA player. Kai Jones, who's at Texas right now. And Joe Brown, guys that's at Cal. And, last year I was with Kadari Richmond, who's at Syracuse, and Matt Cross, that's at Miami. So I've always been surrounded around great players. And me going to Kentucky, I'm always going to be around great players. So it's just been something that I was just around and familiar with. So I feel like it was a great situation for me.
All right, actually, guys, Aaron Gershon, we'll go to you before we circle back to some follow-up questions. Go ahead, Aaron.
Hey, Terrence, it was obviously just announced today you guys are going to play Texas in the Big 12 Challenge. I was wondering how well you know Greg Brown, just as highly recruited guys, and how excited you are to play him if you know him well.
I'm not really, worried about anybody. For those whoever they got, they're gonna have to see us. That's how I think about it.
All right, let's go to some follow-up questions. John Hale, we'll start with you.
Terrence, we've heard a lot about how good you are as a passer. I'm curious, how much do you want to play with the ball in your hands? How much is that part of your game now, especially as we see basketball at the next level kind of evolve into this positionless thing with lead guards, whether you're not a traditional point guard or not?
I think for me, I just want to show my versatility. I think a lot of people know me as a scorer, but like you said, I think I'm a good passer. I'm a good playmaker in general. And that's one of the main things that I want to show when I'm here, that, scoring is not, the only aspect that I have in my game. I can do different things. Also being a two-way player. I've been working on my defense here, especially because Coach Kyle, like I said, doesn't let you take plays off. So I think I just want to show my versatility. Those types of things I've been working on my whole life, and I feel like I always had it, and I'm going to be here to showcase it.
All right, we'll go to Larry Vaught. Go ahead, Larry.
Terrence, when Kentucky was recruiting you, I talked to several different folks, and the one thing they all talked about was that you were a guy that could get your shot no matter what, didn't matter who knew that you were getting ready to shoot. If you want to get a shot, you could get a shot. Is that fairly accurate, do you feel like?
I feel like, yeah, that's just something I always worked on ever since I was young, especially. I just always had the confidence to put the shot up and trying to make it with my best ability. And, for me, like I said, I just show my versatility. I feel like I could score the basketball, but I could also do different things. So, me being a scorer, I know there's going to be a lot of scouts that saying that I can shoot it and stuff like that. And I just want to show that I can do different things too.
Thanks.
Guys, got a little less than 5 minutes left. Just circling around the room. Looks like we got Kyle Tucker again. Go ahead, Kyle.
Terrence, I know you can jump out of the gym. Some of Jacob Toppin's folks have told me that he's even bouncier than his brother, who we know is very bouncy. Who wins the dunk contest, and is there anybody else in it besides you and him on this team?
Personally, I feel like Jacob got his bounce is ridiculous. I personally seen him take 2 steps and through the legs, reverse on different levels. So I feel like Jay got great bounce, but Isaiah Jackson also is long, really tall, and really bouncy also. You can't sleep on BJ. He's very athletic himself. It doesn't probably look like it to you guys, but he can also jump. So if we was to have a dunk contest, it would be pretty amazing. But, I mean, Jacob just got his bounce is ridiculous. So I'd probably give it to him.
All right, we go to Jack Boger with KSR.
Joel said last week that there was a buzz on this team that you guys could be something special. Dante said something similar just a couple days later. You know, what would you say that buzz is, and just how special do you think this team can be?
Honestly, personally, I feel like our team is just really well rounded. I think that there is no, drop off on our team. I feel like everybody on the team has something that they could bring to the table, and I feel like everybody also knows that they have to sacrifice and do different things on the court. So I feel like the buzz is really that we're all just in for each other right now. I think we're all in trying to win games, and every day we come to practice, we work as hard as we can. So I feel like, going into the season that we're just really focused for the season, really.
John Wong, we'll go back to you.
Terrence, one of the things that really stands out about Kentucky basketball is the fan base. They're very, very passionate. They care about winning. They want championships. What have you learned about the Kentucky fan base in the short time that you've been part of the family?
I think even before I came to Kentucky, and I've seen it personally, like a lot of people, like you said, really want to just win. And I think the fan base is really large, and they care a lot about the basketball aspect. So I think for us, we're just going to try to win as many games as possible. I've seen it personally when I've been walking to the student center and stuff like that. I just see a lot of people, seeing us as we walk in groups. They're always, hey, guys, how you guys doing? Or stuff like that. They're really caring and loving. So it's going to be fun just to try to win games for them. So.
John Hale, we'll go to you. And just a reminder, guys, we got maybe 2 more minutes left. So if there's 1 or 2 more questions out there, go ahead and send them in. Go ahead, John.
Terrence, I'm curious, when you were staying with BJ in LA, did you learn anything about him that surprised you off the court in terms of what his personality is?
BJ is a funny guy. I feel like everybody on this team, are just have their own personalities. And, usually you will find some guys that have like kind of egos and stuff like that. But I feel like everybody on this team, especially BJ, they're all loving and caring as much as anybody else. Everybody's personality is uplifting. And, it seems like we all just care about each other more than anything. So, everybody's kind of selfless and try to give as much affection to each other. And I kind of just betters everybody else and uplifts everybody else every day. So I think it's just great for me, especially when I was in California. Every day he has that energy that makes me want to even work out even more. So it was fun.
All right, Larry Vaught, we'll come back to you. And if we got 1 more, we'll do 1 more after that. Otherwise, we'll end it there. Go ahead, Larry.
Terrence, just how good a defensive player do you think, or how good a defensive player are you, and how good do you think you can be before this year's over?
I think for me, one of the main things for me that was, talked about was my maturity level. And I think that really kind of expanded since I've been here. And that's been kind of the thing that's been helping me be a two-way defender. I kind of take pride in trying to stop the player that's in front of me now more than anything. I think for me, everybody kind of sees that I can score and do things on the offensive level, but I want to show that I can also be a defensive player. So time will tell. I'm going to try to dig down and be one of the best defenders in the country.
All right, John Wong, we'll end it with you.
Terrence, that was a fantastic picture when Coach Cal took you all down and registered you all to vote. What was going through your mind, and what was that experience like?
I really thank coaches for that, because one of the main things that is talked about right now is, just having a voice. And, I don't want to talk too much about it, but one of the main things for me is I just want to talk or show my affection for it. And, when I want to vote and put my voice in it too, because, as things are going on right now, I don't really want to talk too much about it because I'm still learning a lot about it. But, there's a lot of things that's going on in the world. And I feel like for Cal to, care about us and put our voice out there, I think that's one of the main things that kind of excited me, especially coming here and so early that we got here. So for all of us, I think it was crazy for us, because one of the main things for us is that we see it every single day. And now that we could put ourselves in that picture and put our voice in, it was amazing. So.
Terrence, we want to really appreciate you joining us today and making time for everyone. Guys, as always, we'll send out the transcript and the video here shortly, and then you've got the Vimeo link. Friday, we'll have Cam Fletcher. Then I'll send out the schedule for next week.